Network brings you Extended Buckeye Postgame, presented by Encova Insurance. Here's your hosts, Brandon Beam and Tim Hall.
It's a great day to be a Buckeye. Ohio State gets it done. They move to 3-0 in the non-conference. Next up, the Big Ten slate, 49-14 over Marshall. I am Brandon Beam. He is Timmy Hall. Timmy, happy Buckeye Game Day Saturday. What's up, buddy? Good to talk to you.
Yes, good to talk to you, Beam. Good to have all of our fine Buckeye fans here listening in wherever they are across the great state of Ohio and beyond. You know, it was a little bit of a sluggish start. I mean, why don't we just plan on these happening, right? If there's a bye week, we can just plan on it. But, you know, as I was talking to some people earlier, Marshall had a bye week as well, so maybe they should cancel each other out. So no excuses. You could just call what it was. It was a sluggish start for Ohio State
defense.
On the defensive standpoint. And I think that's not going to wind up being the biggest takeaway of this football game for me. What the offense was able to do in their ridiculous efficiency levels, that's going to win out. But, Beam, we are also turning the page. We're not going to be playing Western Michigans and Akrons and Marshalls anymore. You're going on the road in Big Ten play. Now, you are a lot better on paper than that first team you're going to play on the road in Michigan State. This is not Mark D'Antonio in his prime. This is not that version of Michigan State. I'd have to see another couple years with Jonathan Smith at the helm before that. But different level of competition, so you do want to see that nasty defense back again that is trying to hold teams to shutouts, or at the very least, you know, getting off the field a little bit more on third and fourth down. It was too many first downs. 18 first downs in the football game. That's more than I would have wanted to see from Marshall.
Well, especially, too, when you're coming off of 2 weeks ago, allowing 6 first downs to Western Michigan. 6. Was it an entire football
Was that
game.
Less than 100 yards in that game?
Yes, 99.
Yeah.
It was 99 yards and 6 first downs.
264 yards from Marshall. I mean, still, anything that's around 250 in today's college football, you had 569 yards, right? I mean, so the numbers, everything's fine. 49-14, that's a perfectly sane score to see in an Ohio State Marshall kind of game. You play the game, you try to stay as healthy as you can stay. You're turning the page from it very quickly because there's bigger and better fish to fry. So that's what it was here today for Ohio State.
I thought it was funny with Paul and Jim. They were talking to head coach Ryan Day after the game, and Paul said 57 snaps offensively. There's not going to be a lot of film work to do because you guys just didn't have the ball that much. But boy, were they efficient on the offensive side today, Tim. I mean, yeah, a little angsty Buckeye crowd, I think, for sure. Maybe after that Marshall drive, right? 13 plays, 75 yards. It wasn't fluky. Nothing about it was fluky. They just drove right down the field. And then you get the ball back, and it's 2 plays, Emeka Egbuka gone, shot out of a cannon. Was awesome to see, and that was really the storyline for me today, Tim. Outside of the interception, which we can get to in a second, the explosiveness today was the most that it's popped throughout the entire season so far.
Yeah, it was. And, it's funny, you mentioned the way that Marshall started the game and how that kind of gets everybody a little bit frustrated, gets the people on social media chatting, chirping a little bit. It's the worst way to start a game because you haven't played in a while, and then it's super hot out there, and you're back on your heels. Yeah. And Marshall was just staying on schedule and just keeping the clock running the football with the quarterback, Earl Stone, doing a good job there, and then hitting quick slants. And the one wide receiver, Elijah Metcalf, good football player. And you could tell that, those guys were relishing their opportunity. And then on the other side, some of Ohio State's best drives, what are they? One play, one play, 2 plays. They had 3 drives, a 2-play drive and a couple of 1-play drives. That really pops off of the drive chart, right? You're saying defense, sorry. So that is,
you got to get back on the field.
You do have to take that into account. The defense did give up a long drive to start the game, but the offense also kind of put the defense right back on the football field a few times today.
Yeah, they sure did. Will Howard, I thought, was good today. 16-20, 275, the 2 touchdowns, the 1 interception. I think we've gotten, and this isn't, I'm not just saying this because it was Marshall week, we've gotten to the Randy Moss role with Jeremiah Smith. throw it as far as you can.
That's ironic, Beam.
I know
That's ironic
I didn't mean to do
that.
it.
Yeah,
but
you did.
It's the Randy Moss rule.
1 year in college football, right?
1,650 yards and 25 touchdowns. Pretty
catches.
good. Pretty good. Randy Moss, very good football player. But just throw it down the football field. And I think that those two were a little off sync. I think it was a little bit underthrown. And I think Jeremiah Smith could have seen a little greater effort out of that interception.
I think it was more Jeremiah's fault than Will's fault.
60-40?
70-30.
Okay. Interesting.
I think it's more his fault than Will's fault. Will is giving whom we believe now could be one of the great wide receivers that we'll ever see play here at Ohio State.
He's pretty good.
I mean, honestly, like he's on about 100 yards. I don't know what the exact average is going to go to, but he had 70 yards. He had 3 catches, 70 yards, and another score. And the fact that he just takes the slants, he's just gone. And Emeka, too.
Yeah.
You know, you're still fast, too, Emeka. No one's forgotten about you. But I think you talked about it, the effort there. Maybe not 100% into the route at the start of the play if he didn't think that he was going to get that ball, but you still got to go for it. And just allowing the Marshall defensive back to get that inside position. Take a penalty, do something. He tried to, I'm not saying that there was no effort at all in that play. It wasn't like that. It's not, I didn't think he was lazy through the play, but those are the ones, right? You talk about, you got mossed, in honor of the Marshall icon. There's your chance right there. Crack some peanut shells on that guy's helmet. Go up there, get the ball, get that inside position, and make the play for your QB. It was a decent ball, a tiny bit underthrown, but you want your guy to be able to make a play.
How about the run game today? Oh, my.
Best we've seen in a while, baby.
31 attempts, 280 yards. Quinshon Judkins, 2 touchdowns on 14 carries and 173 yards. Travion Henderson, not a bad day at the office for him either. 6 carries for 76, 2 touchdowns, and 12.7 yards per carry. Quinshon had 12.4 yards per carry. Anytime your two bell cow backs,
better, huh?
He was technically better on the average. Anytime your two backs, your two guys have an average of over 12 yards, you're doing something correct. And those guys popped today. Good to have Donovan Jackson back on the offensive line too.
Oh yeah, I mean that's something that you need.
Yeah.
You need that guy. Credit Austin Serveld, how he has played at the guard position. And
played a little right guard today.
You're still going to be able to see him. You saw him out there and showing you that he can switch sides, right? And you want depth. You never know when somebody's going to roll an ankle or if somebody's going to miss a game. We don't ultimately know what's going on with Donovan Jackson. They keep everything so secret, right? So what are the next weeks going to show us? We're getting into Big Ten play. He had 3 weeks of not playing in a game, and this is week 4, so they finally put him out there. I'd like to believe that he was full go. It wasn't a thing where, it's Marshall, so maybe he can wait one more. I mean, we have shades, or we're thinking of how the year went with Jackson Smith and Jigba, another super important football player that tried to come back, re-injured himself, couldn't make it really back the entire football season.
Yeah, he's been practicing the last
He's been practicing. He's been practicing, so you like to think he was ready to go. I just wonder how they decide when both running backs look that way.
Coin flip.
They both look great.
Yeah.
Both 2 rushing touchdowns. Both had a long one. But Quinshon, I don't know. Like there's just you're seeing why he was a 1,500-yard guy at Ole Miss.
I think you're seeing why he was probably the best running back in the transfer portal.
One of the best players, period.
And you just got that guy on your team. I mean, that touchdown run, what was it, 86 yards? There was nobody catching him, man.
One play.
No, just lightning. Absolute lightning bolt.
Good job by Seth McLaughlin right at the start of that play. Just gave him the first crease, got up the gut, sealed his man off to perfection, and then Quinshon with that speed. There is just speed for days on this team. Love to see Will Howard run the ball in. Get under center, snap the ball into the end zone.
T formation.
T formation.
Love football.
Let's go, Chip.
Does it get any better than a T formation in a Buckeye football game?
I love how
money, no.
I love how the 2 running backs back there, they did like sort of an eagle flying little thing before they snapped the ball. That was great. I don't know what that was. If they saw that back in the 1930s, I don't know.
It's an homage.
Watching film.
That was great.
It was wonderful.
I got, because in the first half, I watched the football game at home. Then at halftime, I come in. I usually call my stepdad. By the time that we get done off the phone, Buckeyes are kicking off for the second half. I got off my couch and was yelling, about the T formation. That's how much I love it.
What were you yelling?
I was yelling, yes, this is the best.
Yes!
This is the best.
Yes!
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it.
And they didn't give the ball to either of the backs.
No.
Let's go right up the gut. Come on.
How long have we been asking for that? The under center quarterback sneak. And we're getting it. We got it a little bit last year, and we got it today.
This is football.
This is what we're doing.
You've got to do it.
Next segment, we're going to check in with secondary and corners coach Tim Walton. Before we get to him, what about Lathan Ransom today, Timmy? Defensive side of the football. I mean, he's tremendous football game from Lathan.
Well,
today.
we'll definitely ask Walton about him. I think what you're seeing, Beamer, is I'm not saying that there was anything up here, but when a guy as good as Caleb Downs comes in with that kind of fanfare, he was taking up all the minutes on airtime. When we're talking about this football team and talking about Quinshon Judkins, we talked an awful lot about the transfers coming in. Maybe there's some guys that were returning players, current players that had already been at Ohio State that felt, what about us? You know, you could be saying all those same things about us. Maybe Lathan Ransom just got dialed up his compete mode, because on those early drives where Marshall was sort of methodically just taking the ball down the field and running some clock, Lathan was the one guy out there that was hitting and making tackles right there. And he even had the punch-out fumble that could have been huge. And it was his ball to recover. He actually planted himself in bounds and had his elbow in the field of play. It was either he recovers it or the ball would be out of bounds, because the other guy, I forget who was there that was reaching in.
Maybe a Sonny, maybe.
His whole body was out of bounds, and then they bobbled it up. But to punch that out and to actually get to a spot where he would have recovered that ball and it would have been Buckeyes football, incredible play.
He's been doing that. He's like, every game, there's a Lathan Ransom punch ball. Like, I don't know, not all the time the ball comes out, but they will super zoom slow-mo, and he's going right after that thing. So, yeah, great day from number 8 today out on the football field. Before we go any further, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Always and forever, your Ohio State flagship station.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Again, the final score today at the Horseshoe. Ohio State takes down Marshall 49-14. Coming up next, we're going to be joined by secondary and cornerbacks coach Tim Walton as the Encova Insurance Buckeye Postgame Show continues on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
We have acres of brand new Chevys, Chryslers, Jeeps, Dodges, and Ram vehicles, as well as used cars and trucks that you're looking for at the Jeff Weiler Columbus Auto Mall in Canal Winchester. And if we don't have what you're looking for, we can find it at one of our 23 other locations. So come shop the lot or view over 2,000 cars right at your fingertips at JeffWeilerColumbusAutomall.com. Plus, use Weiler Direct to see monthly payments, value your trade, and get pre-approved. Rooted in family, driven by you.
We've got a story about a little bean doing big things. Soybeans are used in creative ways you may have never realized to make products we use every day. And Ohio's farmers are growing some of the world's best soybeans. By using and eating soy-based products, you make a positive impact locally and globally. Say hey to the largest ag export in the U.S. Learn more about soybeans at soysecrets.org. This ad brought to you by Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
It's Bobby Carpenter. Join us Monday morning at 6 for the Morning Juice on 97.1 The Fan.
You can join us Thursday at noon for the next Ryan Day Show presented by Roosters. If you got questions about today's game or the upcoming matchup against Sparty, you can submit them via X at OSU Coach or go to OhioStateBuckeyes.com. Click on the Ryan Day Show inbox icon. Again, the final score today, Buckeyes take down the Thundering Herd of Marshall 49-14. More of the Encova Insurance Buckeye postgame show coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. Growing up in the family business, I've seen firsthand the joy and love that comes with finding the perfect engagement ring. For over 77 years, our family's been dedicated to providing the best quality, unmatched selection, and the guaranteed best price. From timeless classics to custom designs, we have the perfect ring for every love story. Let our family help you celebrate the moments that mean the most. Visit Diamond Cellar today on Salmo Road or at Easton Town Center.
Buckeye fans, are you game day ready? Ohio State football is back, so get in the zone by adding nutritious and delicious pork to your tailgate menu. Ohio pig farmers are raising wholesome and versatile pork to be the nutritional powerhouse that you need to watch every Buckeye touchdown this season. Head over to ohpork.org to find game day worthy recipes and to learn more about how real Ohio pig farming families care for the land, the water, and their people every day. This ad is paid in part by the Pork Checkoff.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to the Encova Insurance Buckeye Postgame Show on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Back here on the postgame show, Buckeyes get it done 49-14 against Marshall as they finish up the non-conference schedule. We are now joined by secondary coach, cornerbacks coach. He is Tim Walton. First of all, coach, thanks so much for the time. Second of all, congratulations. Big win. Awesome day out there at the Horseshoe today.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All wins are important, man.
Absolutely it is. Moved to 3-0. Got Big Ten play starting next week. How about your defense today? Maybe not the best start in the world. Marshall goes down. They score a touchdown. Nice first drive for them. But I felt like that after that, Coach, it was a great performance out of your guys on the back end.
Yeah, we started off slow, which we cannot do. Then we picked it up, and then we finished the rest of the game, second half, pretty strong. But we got to start fast. Coach always preached that, and we got to be able to come out the gates ready to go. So that's something we got to work on and improve and be ready to make adjustments and keep that elite play throughout the entire game.
Tim, I got to imagine, people came into the season looking at the Ohio State secondary as one of the strengths of the team, and I do believe that they are. When you see the way that these guys can break up passes, with the way that they can come down and hit and run support, with what Caleb Downs has done, stepping into this defense. But the practices just must be so spirited when you've got those DBs going up against those wide receivers every single day.
Yeah, it's great competition. Obviously, we have elite group of receivers, and we get great work every day, so that makes us better, makes us stay on our edge. So hopefully that stuff pays off throughout the season when we continue to get that work at practice coming down the stretch, helping us prepare better for Saturdays.
What can you say, Tim, about having the week off and if there's some time to get back into that game mode? Because Earl Stone from Marshall had some success there going with the quick game that always maybe has you take a step back. You want to keep everything in front of you, but when they were on schedule, they were able to complete a good amount of passes with the slants and the quick game early. Did you just kind of have to live with that today?
Yeah, but then we made adjustments, and then we kind of changed. They got most of their passing yards really came in the first quarter. We kind of did a better job the first quarter and a half. Then after that, you're going to make some adjustments on it. But they're a good team. They spread it out. They throw it a lot. They were thinking and ducking the ball some, so we got to make sure we do a better job being consistent with challenging routes, taking away end breaks, and knocking balls down.
Coach, I don't know exactly what time of the game it was in, but Denzel Burke had quite the hit, and they highlighted it on the TV broadcast. I mean, when he's coming across and wide receiver catches a ball, you want to give a message to those wideouts to just kind of watch? I mean, I know that he can be a finesse player too, but he likes to lay the hammer a lot.
Yeah, he's getting better. He's able to zero in on balls, crossing route, zone coverage. Then they put his foot in the ground and get a jump on the ball. He's been able to catch best of the years. We've never catching good breaks on that. But he did a great job today on triggering on the ball and getting a big hit.
I mentioned Caleb Downs. Oh, go ahead, Beam.
I was going to
safety too.
I was going to say, how about Lathan Ransom as well? I know first game back in the Horseshoe after that first game against Akron, he was very emotional. He is a terrific young man, leading your team in tackles today, 8 tackles. You can just see him flying around, Coach. He looks incredibly just grateful to be out on that defense.
He plays with great energy, great passion, great tenacity. You know what I mean? He loves to play the game. He's tough. He tackles well. He has the physicality to him, and he plays like a bullet. So, you know, he does a great job, man. And he's a guy that does a great job of tackling in space. See, he pulled the trigger a couple times out the other day. So we're glad to have him back. He's happy to be out there, man, and he's a good spark plug for us on defense.
Tim Walton is with us. And, Tim, you basically lost a guy from your position group, but you know him really well. And to see Sonny Styles step up in one of those outside backer roles and continue to perform the way he's performing, you can put him in so many different spots. He's such a versatile player, but 7 tackles, 3 solos out there today. What have you seen from Sonny here in these last few weeks?
He's a great athlete. He made the transition very well from safety down to backer. He's smart. He's a hard worker. He understands the game, has a good football IQ, and he processes things well. So he made the transition smooth, and he's becoming a really good player at linebacker.
Coach, before we get you out of here, are you telling your offensive coaches and guys to, like, slow down a little bit? Because at one point in the game, they had 4 plays and 21 points.
No, they got to try to do what they have to do, man, as for much as possible. You know, they got to try to keep it going, and we got to just try to keep working on getting stops. So all works together. They score as many points as they can, and we try to hold them to less points as we can to try to end up with a bit of big win.
Tim, real quick, it was the first noon game, and it was a hot one. I mean, we're here on the equinox, and we got a 92-degree day. How hot was it down there on the field, and what was that doing?
Yeah, it was very hot. So it was a hot day, but we got to expect that, man. We got to be used to it. We got to go play. We can't control the elements. We can't control the temperatures. So we just got to be ready to play regardless of situation.
Coach, as always, we appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on with us here. Enjoy this win tonight. Have a great work week, and we'll check in again down the road, all right?
Thank you. Greatly appreciate you.
There he goes, Tim Walton with us here. Secondary cornerbacks coach. Great guy, Buckeye through and through.
Fun locker room.
Yeah.
A lot of fun being had. Loud music, cheering. Think they still snap towels?
What an odd question.
They still snapping towels?
Sure, why not? Why not?
Fun.
Why not?
Yeah, right?
Why not?
Good old fun.
The music. You should be having fun, man. You're 3-0. Did your job in the non-conference. You got a road game against Sparty next week.
Yeah. It's about to, it's like we said, it's about to get a little bit more serious, but it's good to talk to Tim. I mean, Tim is, obviously we know he's a great former Buckeye himself. Yeah. And what this guy has shown to be on the recruiting trail, boy,
really good.
There's a lot that goes on in this college game, right? And we know how much the sport is changing, and it's a lot to handle, right? We're seeing different states, governors sign orders. You can start paying them now, like we don't still know how all these rules are working, but we know that you have to go out there and sell the program and still get guys to come here and want to be a part of it. And you might not know for sure what the NIL budget says for certain players, but he's doing a job, him and Brian Hartline, and you look at how that unit is playing right now, and that's secondary. Denzel Burke, like you mentioned that hit he had. I also liked the Caleb Downs play where he came up and wrapped a guy while he was midair.
Yeah.
Actually wrapped a guy.
Flying.
While he was horizontal in the air, like mid-dive. Brought him to the ground, hit him hard, wrapped him.
It would be fun to do that.
Yeah.
It would be fun to do some of that stuff. Again, the final score today from the Horseshoe, Ohio State takes down Marshall 49-14. Coming up next, we're going to check your scoreboard from across the country as the Encova Insurance Buckeye postgame show continues on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call The Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
Hear every Buckeye game every year. The Fan.
You can join us Tuesday night at 6 p.m. for our next Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King. Our broadcast team of Big Daddy Paul Keels, Jim Lachey, Coach John Cooper, and Skip Mossick will break down today's game, preview the next game against Sparty. That is Buckeye Roundtable Tuesday night from 6 to 8 p.m. Again, the final score today from the Horseshoe, Buckeyes 49, Thundering Herd of Marshall 14. More of the Encova Insurance Buckeye postgame show coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile, get it done teams, the achieve more together teams, and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
Buckeye Nation, join us on April 13th at the 2025 Ohio State Four-Mother, presented by Union Home Mortgage, the Ohio Beef Council, and Raising Cane's. This is your chance to run down the tunnel and finish on the 50-yard line at Ohio Stadium. A portion of the proceeds benefit the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer. This is something you won't want to miss. Register today at ohiostatefourmiler.com. Go Bucks! Hey, Buckeye Nation, Paul Keels here for my other favorite nation, Window Nation. If you're a fan of scoring, you're going to love this. Window Nation is going nuts with an incredible offer just for you. Buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free plus 0 down and 0 payments with 0 interest for 2 years. And if you order a full house of windows, you'll be part of a full house at the Shoe with tickets to a Buckeye game. Call Window Nation today at 866-90-NATION or visit them online at windownation.com. Tell them Paul sent you for the Buckeyes Full House Special.
Always and forever your home of the Buckeyes. Home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. This is the Encova Insurance Buckeye Postgame Show on the Ohio State Sports Network. Presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center. The team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Will Howard in the shotgun. Travion Henderson off his right hip. 3 wide to the right. Tight end G. Scott is on the right side. He'll motion to the left. G. Scott will. And on second down, Will Howard receives the football. Quick screen goes on the right side. Emeka Ibuka, he'll slide to his own 40. Get to the 50. Ibuka loose. He's coming left side to the Marshall 30. He's to the 20, to the 10. Beep into the end zone. Touchdown. Emeka Ibuka.
There's nobody catching number 2 on that play. Whew. Shot out of a cannon.
What a lane that was. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? It just was a lane and nobody from Marshall seemed to be able to enter into that lane. Some great blocking set up on the outside. And Carnell Tate just galloping down the field with his guy to make sure he got deeper than the deepest defender to just give him a little seal. Just put the arm out, little seal, let him make a trot in.
Great game for him. 5 catches, 117 yards. The big one right there, the 68-yarder for a touchdown. Targeted 5 times, 5 catches, 23.5 yards per catch. Tim with a 100% completion percentage. Great to see that guy have that day.
He's the man.
Yeah.
He's the man.
Yes,
I mean, these weapons that Ohio State has, right? There's no shortage of them.
An embarrassment of riches.
We talked about the running game already and what you have here with Travion and Quinshon Judkins, even when James Peoples gets in. The one thing I was a little upset about was when the game was winding down. Now, the game's in hand, and Devin Brown's in there. Maybe you do want to get him some reps. I sure would like to see that, second offensive line unit get to salivate and get into supreme run block mode. I got to think. I can remember, Jim Lachey's Washington Redskins teams in the past, growing up in the 90s, just devour defenses. It wouldn't be
we're running right
it'd
here.
It'd be like a 5-minute offense, Like it didn't matter how much time was left in the fourth quarter in a game they were going to win. They're just going to run the ball down your throats late in the game. Let James Peoples cook there. Like throwing the ball and some of those, that wasn't all on Devin. That was some play calling and Devin missing some and some receivers not squeezing the football tight, but just go forward, run the football.
I'm with you on
and
that.
the game.
That and the kickoffs.
Oh, wait. Did we go this far? Did we get this far into the post-game show without talking about the kickoffs?
We did. Got a half hour in. Didn't talk about it.
Must have been good then. Must have been good.
That was
49-14.
It was a bad day. Had the yips. I think he had the yips.
All right. It happens the first time. You say, good Lord, what are we doing? Right? Like, what are we doing? That's what happened in the past. We used to try to get cute and aim the ball down by the corner, right? To sort of make them want to come up and, field the kickoff and then try to get them inside the 20-yard line or the 25 to create that field position advantage. But you can't, if you're going to do that, you have to execute it. You cannot kick the football out of bounds. It's just simply not acceptable. It's not an option. And to do it a second time, you're thinking, okay, well, that's it. Like, who's next? Who's next in line? Where's the next kicker? And then he comes back out there.
Third time.
And you don't even know what's happening at that point.
There's a great video on social media of Jaden Fielding running off the field and Ryan Day just like, there's no wind out here. What's going on?
It seemed like Jaden maybe had said that.
Yeah.
Maybe Jaden said something about some conditions, and Ryan's got his hands to the sky. Maybe a curse word is used.
maybe a couple.
Jaden did have his hands on his helmet when he did it the last time. Just like, oh no,
this is bad.
Oh boy,
this is bad.
And then new kicker Austin Snyder comes in and takes the extra points later in the game too. And the kickoffs. We'll see if that's that.
Can't do that in big games. Obviously, you can't do it in the Marshall game. You can't do it at all.
You can't
moving forward.
You can't do that at Ohio State.
No.
And I'll just say it. I think there's a lot of us that are just curious and want to know a little bit more about our actual kicking game.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about making field goals that matter.
From distance of consequence.
Can you make 50?
Yeah.
Can you make 50 on a perfect day? We seen a recent game here where making 50 would have been quite nice.
Would have been okay for us.
Been okay. Would have been an okay deal. And we have no idea if that's the case right now. Typically, Ohio State's an offense where if it is 4th and 3 or less and they're in at a certain yard line, you'd like to see them go for it. But sooner or later you get into football games when it's, the best in the country against the best in the country, and kicking field goals can win you national championships or not.
Yeah, they ultimately won the game 49-14. Buckeyes not the only team that were in action today on this hot college football Saturday. You want to start with the gigantic Big Ten conference, Tim?
Oh, I hope you like clips from the Indiana Hoosiers, because I got about 17 of those cuts that they were feeding us in the noon window. Coach Kurt Signetti. I mean, you don't know what I'm doing here?
Win it.
Google me. From James Madison, dang it.
Yeah.
Look what James Madison did.
We'll get to them in a second.
Hold on a second. You're going to like that score. You're going to like the way you look. But Indiana was hosting Charlotte, bringing a nice sterling 3-0 record to town. And how about our man Curtis Rourke? Ohio Bobcat transfer, now in the Big Ten.
Surratt to the far side. Here's the snap, and here's Rourke running up the middle. Gets to the 5, gets to the end zone. Touchdown! Curtis Rourke finds a way to get it in the end zone. He had nobody he could go to with the throw. He had enough time to look, found a lane, and was able to get it to the end zone for the score.
All right, the legendary Don Fisher, the call from Learfield, the Indiana Hoosiers network. It was a little bit of an interesting second quarter. Charlotte hung around, but ultimately Indiana came out hot in the third and then just was off to the races. 52-14. Indiana 4-0. I would think that's enough to at least get them the 24-25 spot. A lot of people wanted to see them ranked this past week.
Interesting, too, because Indiana now starts 4-0. They are at home next weekend against Maryland. Then they are on the road at Northwestern. This team could be 6-0 and bowl eligible immediately through all 6 games because Maryland today had a little bit of trouble with Villanova, 38-20. Maryland does end up beating Villanova. Villanova scored all their points in the second half. It was 24-0 Terps, but still, I mean, a great opportunity for Indiana to start the season 6-0 and get to immediate bowl eligible.
Yeah, 100%. It really is, Beamer. And we look at some of the games that are going on currently in the Big Ten. Penn State having no issues. This is not a Kent State team that has a lot of talent on it this year. They are walking into the game 0-3. It's 28-0 Nittany Lions at the half. All right, the big one that maybe we had circled. There's Tennessee, Oklahoma. We know that's happening tonight. That's a huge game. This other one, Michigan's quarterback change to Alex Orji. Davis Warren goes to the bench. They seem to be having their way with USC. It's not a high-scoring game, but the Michigan running game was rolling. 14-3 Wolverines going into the half, leading USC.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise there. A little bit of a surprise. We'll see what happens in the second half in the Big House. Also a game that is nearing halftime in the Big Ten. It looks like UCLA, Tim, they had the ball down at the LSU 1-yard line. There must have been a holding penalty right there.
Yeah, knocked him back to the 11. So that's not what you want.
UCLA has a 2nd and goal at the LSU 11. 12 seconds left to go in the half. They are currently trailing LSU in Death Valley 17-10.
Yeah. The fact that they got a couple of plays here to try to tie this game going into half. Remember, Indiana went on the road to UCLA and just obliterated them. Didn't look like UCLA belonged on the field with Indiana on that night.
Good one for Rutgers today. They are up 16-7 at the half over Virginia Tech. Last night from the Big Ten, Illinois wins a great game down in Lincoln. They take down the Cornhuskers 31-24.
So here's the thing for me. I've been becoming a fan, call it a mini fan, of Matt Rule, Nebraska head coach. I think he's the right guy for them. I'm not saying that Nebraska could ever possibly scratch the surface on what they had in the Tom Osborne era. Things are different now. It's not
get out of control.
It's not there. Yeah, it's not there. But I could see in a 12-team system, I could see Matt Rule making an appearance in the college football playoff in his tenure at Nebraska. This, however, is a game when you've had a nice big win against Colorado. I'm not saying Colorado's that good, but it's still a higher quality win. Deion Sanders in primetime in Colorado, they bring a lot of mojo to the screen, and you get to have a lot of eyeballs on your team. You have Dylan Raiola, one of the biggest recruits you've gotten in some time. You got to beat Illinois when you're at home. That's a home game, big-time environment. You're ranked, they're ranked. It's not like you're playing the number 1 team in the country. You need to win that game.
Yeah,
and they missed the opportunity.
He missed a 36-yard field goal in the fourth quarter. It's tough.
Yep.
You got to win those games. It was very Scott Frost of them. Coming up a little bit later in the Big Ten, 7 o'clock, Northwestern travels out to Washington. 7:30, good one in Minneapolis. Iowa at Minnesota. Sparty, we'll keep our eyeballs on that because that's our opponent next week, taking on Boston College. And then your latest game of the Big Ten, Purdue heads out to Corvallis to take on Oregon State at 8:30.
Watch out for those Pac-12 teams. Gotta watch out for those guys.
Of them.
Yeah,
although they're adding. They've added this week.
They're adding. They're going to be a 6-pack here soon. Just a couple of finals in the top 25 from earlier. Number 21, Clemson, was hosting NC State. Always interesting to see what kind of performance these Clemson Tigers are going to throw together. They've been down, they've been up, and they had a ground game going today.
Gives it to Maffa, going left side, crossing the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Clemson.
Give 7 the football.
Yep, he had 7 carries for 107 yards and that touchdown that you just heard right there. So good stuff for Clemson as they get the win, 59-35 today. Also, Iowa State coming into this week ranked 20th. Downs Arkansas State 52-7.
Interesting one happening in South Bend, Indiana. Obviously, the loss a couple of weeks ago for Notre Dame against Northern Illinois. You and I have this game on the TV screen in the studio. Notre Dame is up 14-3 in this game. Riley Leonard threw for a touchdown before halftime. That was
first one of the season.
First passing touchdown of the season. They were up 14-3 at half in South Bend. Good one down in the ACC. Louisville currently leads Georgia Tech 17-14 at half. And then how about the 23rd ranked Northern Illinois program.
I wonder how they got to that ranking.
Up 14-3 right now at half on Buffalo.
You've got the Utah Utes beating Oklahoma State on the road at the 2-minute warning. The 2-minute warning just sounds right, doesn't it? That one's 10-3. And you have Vanderbilt beating number 7 Missouri on the road as that one approaches halftime. 10-7 the score there. How about the Commodores? They've got wins over Virginia Tech and Alcorn State. Then they lost at Georgia State. Now they're playing a nice half of football on the road at Missouri. I don't know which way's up.
I don't either. Don't know. Interesting. I've put currently a pin in the Tennessee Volunteers for me to see if they're a real contender. You got to go to Norman, Oklahoma tonight and win that game, I think, before we're ready to anoint Tennessee as the real deal. But
here's your shot.
That game's at 7:30.
The Josh Heupel game.
And then the Arch Manning show tonight, Timmy. UL Monroe goes down to Austin and takes on Texas at 8 p.m.
Boy, how excited are we to... I could tell you're just super excited.
I'm already over it.
I mean,
the hype train is out of control.
I can see Arch now hoisting a Lombardi trophy.
For the Commanders.
Just feels right. Yes, for the Washington Commanders.
Actually, the Manning family would say, no thanks. We don't want to get drafted here. We're actually going to pass.
Have they done that before?
They may have. They may have once or twice. How about UD today? Dayton football today, taking on Ave Maria University, which I had to Google. It is down in a planned neighborhood in Naples, Florida. Student population, 1,300. They beat Ave Maria.
Did you just
the Flyers does 49-7.
Did you just say a planned neighborhood?
Yes.
Like it's Del Boca Vista?
Basically.
And then we're going to wrap the
school
Del Boca Vista around our university?
That's right.
You have like membership fees in addition to tuition?
Yep, sure do.
Like a HOA that comes with
goes
that?
right to the school.
We're going to cut the grass in front of your townhouse.
Goes to the kids going to Welcome Stadium playing Dayton today.
Welcome Stadium. There's nothing better than Welcome Stadium in Dayton, Ohio. Don't you say a bad word about it.
No, it's the best.
Good for Dayton. How's our tight end doing in the NFL? What's he doing?
I don't know. It's a good. I think Adam Troutman.
Troutman.
I think he had a touch. Did he have a touchdown earlier?
Adam Troutman. We're always thinking about you. We're always thinking about you. Youngstown State, the Gwins. They are losing to Pitt 42-10. Start of the third quarter. That's a tough one for them. Pitt is 3-0. Pitt actually had a wildly fun game last week. I don't know if you caught any of the backyard brawl, Pitt and West Virginia. Yeah. Great time. That was a great game. I chimed in for that one a little bit.
Adam Troutman currently playing for the Denver Broncos. 1 target during the season. Still early.
They need to make him their number one.
Yeah, they do.
Things will get better. Bo Nix has no one to throw the ball to. He's bad.
It's not been a good
He's not good.
season so far for rookie quarterbacks.
My goodness.
Again, the final score today from the Horseshoe. Buckeyes take down the Thundering Herd of Marshall 49-14. Coming up next, we're going to hear from head coach Ryan Day as the Encova Insurance Buckeye postgame show continues on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Got school spirit? The Junto welcomes friends, families, and alumni to come together for a weekend getaway or staycation this football season. As a guest of the Junto, enjoy complimentary transportation to all Saturday home football games. On game day, gather, imbibe, and dine at Little West Tavern, our neighborhood eatery featuring wood-fired select cuts, a range of classic pours, and weekend watch parties. Enjoy on-site dining, downtown views, and plenty of school spirit from the Junto, your new home away from home. Visit thejuntohotel.com for more information and to book your stay.
Hey Columbus, looking for the perfect day trip? Head to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Dive into football history, see legendary players, and enjoy interactive exhibits. Fun for the whole family. Visit ProFootballHOF.com for tickets. The Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, where it's always football season.
For 100 years, our passion at Atlas Butler has been helping people. From those who have relied on us for years to those who call us for the first time. For our team, their families, and our community, Atlas Butler is here to keep Central Ohio safe and comfortable with trusted, convenient service. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Ohio State is on the road at Michigan State next Saturday. We're going to be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 5:30 p.m. Again, the final score today from the Horseshoe. Buckeyes 49, Thundering Herd of Marshall 14. More of the Encova Insurance Buckeye postgame show coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts, and for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations, in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
It's Bobby Carpenter. Join us Monday morning at 6 for the Morning Juice on 97.1 The Fan.
Now back to the Encova Insurance Buckeye Postgame Show on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
3 wideouts to the right. One of them moving in motion, and Emeka Ibuka to the left. And Howard quickly throwing on the right side, hits Jeremiah Smith, speeds by defenders, and he's gone, taking it to the 10 and into the end zone for a touchdown. Will Howard hit him and strike, and Jeremiah Smith doing what he does, going long distance for a score, and it's a 53-yard touchdown pass play to give Ohio State a 41-14 lead.
Will Howard, you like throwing slants? Just throw it to number 4 on those. Man, gone. Jeremiah Smith.
Boy, just be a Will Howard can turn himself into a slant machine this year. That is just incredible. Like the speed that these Buckeye wide receivers have, just incredible stuff. That play was awesome. Jeremiah Smith at 6'3" and 215 pounds with the wheels that he has. My goodness. By the way, what do you think some of these skill players wearing the Buckeye uniforms would have done playing for either North Carolina or James Madison today?
700 yards for Jeremiah Smith today.
JMU had north of 600 yards. North Carolina had north of 600 yards. JMU almost put up 50 points in the first half.
Nice.
Beating the final score of this football game that I failed to give you in the last segment, 70-50. 70-50.
It's a nice Big Ten basketball game.
James Madison goes in there to Kenan Stadium, beats him up.
Crazy.
Can you say beats him up if you give up 50 points?
Yeah.
They won by 20.
Yeah, scored a lot. Scored
Whooped
a
him.
lot. Timmy, I know that Ryan Day had some comments about this, but I did find it interesting because you and I were having this conversation while this was going on. Ryan Day really got after the officials today about something that was happening.
Ryan Day had a penalty.
And the substitutions, and it was very weird. Ohio State substituted with 21 seconds left to go on the play clock. You're allowed to then substitute if you were Marshall. They did. They kind of just sauntered on the field. Ref is there, not allowing Ohio State to snap the ball. 5, 4, 3. Play clock is dwindling down. Ryan Day's on the field, calls a timeout, wouldn't allow them to snap the football, and then he went ballistic.
Let's hear what Ryan said about that. We need an explanation for what happened there.
My situation was, there was 21 seconds on the clock when we subbed in. They, my opinion, were really slow getting in. And so at some point, when you make a sub, around 21 seconds, you still should be able to run a play. And so we had to call timeout. I went out to the numbers. I didn't curse, but I was, raising my voice saying that there was 21 seconds on the clock. And at some point that has to be a delay a game on the defense. I guess I yelled too loud. I'm not sure why, but that's what happened.
I did not curse. Are you sure about that, Ryan? Can we go back?
I think let's go back to the tape.
Are there recorders?
Let's go back to the tape.
Are there body cams on these refs?
I don't think you would have got flagged. I don't think you would have got flagged if you did it. Really, 4 really slows.
4 reallys.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, though. He's right.
He is right. He's
right. You and I were talking. not sure if we're up to speed on the exact rule here, which is why questions need to be asked. This is something that we're going to come back to Ryan Day with in the Tuesday press conference. It's great midweek stuff to talk about because it's interesting just in a football sense. How, if I sub with that much time left on the play clock, am I then not even allowed to snap my own football?
I'm going to get a flag.
What are we doing here? You're not going to let me snap the football? It was 20 plus seconds, about 21 seconds on the play clock. And the camera angle was in there tight. And so you could see Will Howard and Marshall helmets are just kind of bobbing into position. And clearly the ref's giving him the handout like no snap. And it's 3, 2, 1. It is going to be a penalty. It's going to be a delay game penalty. They're literally not letting you snap the football. So there has to be some kind of window whopper. If I sub at 20 seconds, okay, then feel free to sub as much as you want. But at 5 seconds, I'm going to take my hand away, and the offense has to be allowed to snap it. You've had 15 seconds now. Get on the field or don't. Get set defensively or don't. There's no, formational penalties for the defense as long as you're onside. But if you have a slow guy, like not trotting onto the field, forget about it then.
You don't have to be set as the defense. Your players just need to be on the field.
Right, and if you're not going to get into position and you're going to be lazy, then that's on you.
Don't blame Ryan Day for getting into the officials right there.
Here he was talking about, again, you got to hear his comments on the kickoff miscues.
We can't have that. I mean, that's putting our defense in a terrible situation. Having 3 out of bounds and 3 drives that start on the 35-yard line, that's completely ridiculous. So we got to get that fixed, however we do that. And, you get to the point where you want to let somebody play through it, but then it's that, another point, we got to make a change. So I thought Austin did a nice job of stepping in there and then doing a good job kicking the ball off.
Boy. I'm sorry, Jaden Fielder.
You just can't have it. Can't do it. What did Mike Singletary say? Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't have it. That's completely ridiculous. He let his thoughts known.
1 is a mistake. It can be looked past. Don't let it happen again. 2 times, unacceptable. 3 times,
you're out. 3 strikes, you're out.
You're out. You're off the field.
Got another kicker here.
The final score today from the Horseshoe: Buckeyes 49, Thundering Herd of Marshall 14. Coming up next, we're going to wrap things up. Hand out some Buckeye leaves as the Encova Insurance Buckeye Postgame Show continues on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the Shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes. Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you. Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
When you travel, they always say, get a room with a view. And there's no better way to travel than with family, like the Toyota Truck family. Now through September 30th, get $2,000 customer cash on a new 24 Tundra, depending on model. Or lease a Tacoma SR Double Cab for $319 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Imagine a tailgate. The heat of the flame, the sizzle of the burger, the squeeze of the ketchup. Grilling is essential to tailgating as the game itself. Weber grills are there in the hours, minutes, and even seconds before kickoff. Before the best damn band in the land plays the battle cry, signaling it's time to take the field. Weber is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. This season, Weber created an officially licensed limited edition Ohio State grill inspired by the iconic Buckeye helmets. Find the best damn grill in the land at local Ohio retailers.
Buckeye football lives here. The Fan.
Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. You can join American Electric Power, Donato's Kroger, the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS TV in Columbus in supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Buckeyes Care. Again, the final score today from the Horseshoe. Ohio State takes down Marshall 49-14. More of the Encova Insurance Buckeye postgame show coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile, get it done teams, the achieve more together teams, and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
The Fan. Ohio sports destination. This is the Encova Insurance Buckeye Postgame Show on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Will Howard in the shotgun. Gets the snap, hands it Judkins again. He goes flying out to the left, bumps off one defender, and takes it into the end zone for a score. Quinshon Judkins, a 6-yard run, his second TD run of the day.
That one was just a skosh shorter than his big one. That was a 6-yarder. He also had an 86-yarder.
That was nothing.
Yeah.
But the stiff arm.
He had a couple today.
He had two.
He had a couple today.
I think his first carry of the game.
Get off
Just
me.
a little stiff arm ale out there.
Yeah.
My goodness. And on that one where he rumbled in for that 6-yard touchdown, just a violent stiff arm. That was just get off of me.
Sit on the ground.
Sit down. Why are you even trying?
280 yards from the Buckeyes on the ground today on 30 carries. 9 yards per carry. That seemed to be
10 yards
good.
per play.
Yeah, that's pretty
10
good.
10 yards per play for the offense.
Pretty good. Every time that they were snapping the football, they were getting a first down. Let's do some Buckeye leaves.
It's time to hand out some Buckeye leaves.
Running back room, Buckeye leaves. Trey, Quinshon, sleeves. Whole sleeves of leaves.
Quinshon's getting at least a half dozen.
Yeah.
Whatever a standard sleeve. I'd say maybe 6.
6-pack.
In a standard sleeve, he's getting all those. 14 for $173, 2 touchdowns. 86er. Travion 6 for 76, 2 touchdowns, along of 40. Both guys north of 12 yards per carry.
Pretty good.
Yes, fill the helmets up. James Peoples runs the ball really well. That's a tough running back. For a true freshman, I love what I see from James Peoples. The running backs are in a great place here at Ohio State.
Lathan Ransom, Buckeye lead for me. Timmy, thought another great performance of him. You can see him, too, out on the football field. I mean, he smiles. This has been taken away from him for a couple of years. Lathan Ransom, Buckeye leaves.
Look, we didn't talk about this yet. I want to give a Buckeye leaf because Caden Curry had the only sack of the football game for the Buckeyes. We need to do a better job there. We can all agree with JT Tuimoloau and Jack Sawyer and everything that's on their shoulders, how high profile of guys they are. We need to start seeing some more pressure in that backfield. I know Marshall looked like they were in some max protect early to get the ball out quick. You do take some of that into account. I get it. But when we get into some of these bigger games, you want to start seeing that. You do. But Caden Curry got tossed for another targeting call.
It was targeting.
Seems to be a weekly thing, but I am with you. It kind of, by the letter of the law, when the player goes, like he knew it, he looked back, he had the hands, it was like, I got him in the head.
He did.
Helmet right to the face mask. It wasn't really that forcible.
No, it wasn't
Was
violent.
Yeah.
He hit him with the crown of the helmet on the helmet.
Would be nice to see the 15-yard flag.
Hate the call.
Stay.
Yeah.
But he could stay in the game because it didn't look like there was intent to harm or super forcible contact.
Yeah, I'm with you on
He's
that.
okay.
Hate the targeting
Hate that
penalty.
it happened.
Hate the flag, but unfortunately it did. Because Caden Curry, an awesome opportunity for him today with Tyleek being out. And they were switching it around and putting him in the interior. That's where that sack came from. Like, he was on his way, I feel like, Caden Curry to a big game. He's a big player. He's going to make a lot of good plays this year. He has made a lot of good plays.
I'll say it again. Sonny Styles and Denzel Burke, they were racking up tackles today. And we are only a matter of games, maybe not this year, But one of these days, you're going to be going to Buckeye football games, and your favorite player on the field will be Arvell Reese.
Yep.
He will be your favorite player on the field. That guy is awesome.
He lays the hammer.
He's a maniac.
Yeah, he absolutely lays the hammer. Buckeye leave. I think Will Howard deserves some leaves, Timmy.
Oh, plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah, plenty.
275, 2 touchdowns.
Look, again, I think the interception was a little more on Jeremiah than it was on Will. If I'm a receiver, I want that ball being thrown. I want a ball like that.
Sure.
One-on-one coverage. I'm not, getting, blown up by a safety or anything. I can go make a play. 16 to 20, 275, and the 2 touchdowns, rushed one in. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. How about the quote of the day, too?
The quote of the day, yeah, we have David Adolph, a Dublin Jerome guy, who got out there and made a catch. So Buckeye leaf for him. And I guess, he is the grandson of a longtime NFL coach and Ohio State assistant. That's Dave Adolph. I love in the media guide, it says his phrase, the phrase he loved the most, do you love football?
It's a great phrase.
Beamer, do you love football?
I love the wing tee form. Buckeye leaves for Chip Kelly and doing the wing tee formation today.
Yes.
Love football. That's football.
I love football.
Targeting against Caden Curry is not football.
That's not football.
But the wing tee formation, that was football. Donovan Jackson, Buckeye leaves.
Back Buckeye leaf. Do all you Buckeye fans love football?
Yeah, we love
Think
football.
about that. Ask yourself that going into an NFL Sunday.
Timmy, had so much fun with you. What do you say have a great time next Saturday night with Mike Bennett, former Buckeye, because he's going to be on with you next Saturday.
Subbing in for you.
Yeah, band fall weddings. Just don't have them.
Is he doing your part?
He's going to do.
I have to do your part.
He's going to do all the reads.
I love that.
He's going to do everything.
I think he's going to knock that out of the park.
I think he's going to be great. He's a lawyer.
Like it'll be 1 a.m. Mike.
Yeah, he's a lawyer.
7 o'clock kick. And lawyer Michael Bennett. He can do it.
Have a great time. Big Ten play. All right.
All right, we'll do.
The executive producer of Ohio State Radio Sports is Skip Mossick on behalf of our studio producer, Panama Teddy Holbrook. And for Timmy Hall, I'm Brandon Beam, inviting you to join us Tuesday night at 6 for Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King. And then Thursday at noon for the Ryan Day Show, presented by Roosters. Next week, the Buckeyes are at Michigan State. We're going to be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 5:30 p.m. Ohio State football has been brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance and by Bob Evans Farms. Once again, the final score today, 49-14 in favor of the Buckeyes over Marshall. Thanks for listening. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. This has been Buckeye Football from Learfield.
And brought to you locally by State Farm, your Central Ohio Toyota dealers, and by the Diamond Cellar, on your home of the Buckeyes. Live and local weekdays beginning at 6 a.m. with Morning Juice on the Fan. Ohio